Satyam Jnanam Jyotir Aravinda Jyotir Aravinda Jyotir Aravinda. So just to continue from what we were discussing last time, that this whole world appears to be a certain way to us because we see it like that through our thoughts. But beyond the appearance of the world, there's another reality behind. And as we discussed last time, the Zen tradition says this reality behind is the ultimate dimension, which is constantly manifesting as the phenomenal dimension. So how the world appears to be from the vantage of the ultimate dimension is completely different from how it appears to us through our thoughts. And well, we discussed this even last Saturday, that what Zen call the ultimate dimension, for us it's the realm of the Adi Shakti or the Divine Mother, or that higher intelligence which is manifesting as everything. So when of course we see this body, but when we all know that once Mother came and Sri Aurobindo retired, and everyone used to keep asking Sri Aurobindo, but who is this French lady you're telling us to accept as our guru in your place? And he wrote a letter explaining to his disciples who the mother really was, who this French lady really was. And it became a book called The Mother. And this is an extract from that book. Sri Aurobindo says, in all that is done in the universe, the divine through his Shakti is behind all action. But he is veiled by his Yog Maya and works through the ego of the Jiva and the lower nature. In simple words, it's the mother or the divine who's doing everything, but it appears to us that it's our ego which is doing everything. In yoga also, it is the divine who is the sadhak and sadhana. It is his Shakti, the Adi Shakti, with her light, power, knowledge, consciousness, ananda, acting upon the Adhar. And when it is open to her, pouring into it with these divine forces, that makes the sadhana possible. But so long as the lower nature is active, the personal effort of the sadhak remains necessary. So the lower nature is the nature which is revolving around the ego, which is controlled by the ego. Sri Aurobindo says in the higher nature, there is a consciousness of oneness, there is no ego. But so long as we are working in the lower nature and opening to the mother, personal effort remains necessary. Once we are anchored in the higher nature, then we are just in a state of surrender and mother does everything. What is this personal effort? Sri Aurobindo says the personal effort required is a triple labor of aspiration, rejection and surrender. An aspiration vigilant, constant, unceasing. So for us in a day, if 2-3 minutes we aspire, for most of us that's the max we really do. But Sri Aurobindo is saying an aspiration vigilant, constantly looking, oh, have I fallen out of that state of aspiration? Constant, unceasing. The mind's will, the heart's seeking, the ascent of the vital, the will to open and make plastic the physical consciousness and the nature. So, aspiration is what? For the bhakta, it's love for the mother. For the jnani, it's a constant urge to exceed his current consciousness. Aspiration, there are as many kinds of aspirations as there are sadhaks. It's not that there's only one kind of aspiration, but aspiration is a reaching out to the higher consciousness in whatever way it comes to us uniquely. Rejection of the movements of the lower nature, rejection of the mind's ideas, opinions, preferences, habits, constructions, so that the true knowledge may find free room in a silent mind. Rejection of the vital natures, desires, demands, cravings, sensations, passions, selfishness, pride, arrogance, lust, greed, jealousy, envy, hostility to the truth, so that the true power and joy may pour from above into a calm, large, strong, and consecrated vital being. So long as these emotions are sort of the stronghold in the vital, selfishness, pride, arrogance, lust, greed, jealousy, envy, hostility to the truth, our vital is not a large, strong, and consecrated vital. So, rejection of the physical nature, stupidity, doubt, disbelief, obscurity, obstinacy, pettiness, laziness, unwillingness to change, tamas, so that the true stability of light, power, ananda may establish itself in a body growing always more divine. Surrender of oneself and all one is and has, and every plane of consciousness and every movement of to the divine and the Shakti. So basically it's rejection of our fixed mental structures, rejection of, if something has worked for me yesterday, I feel today also it should work, 1 week later also it should work, 1 month later also it should work. But mother's movements are so swift and plastic that no structures really last long enough. So all rigid structures we have about anything, about our life, our opinions of people, rejection of all that, and to be freshly present to the moment. In proportion as the surrender and self-consecration progress, the sadhak becomes conscious of the divine Shakti doing the sadhana, pouring into him more and more of herself, founding in him the freedom and perfection of the divine nature. The more this conscious process replaces his own effort, the more rapid and true becomes his progress. But I cannot completely replace the necessity of personal effort until the surrender and consecration are pure and complete from top to bottom. So basically what he's saying is, to open to the mother, we have to somewhere try and exceed our ordinary lower nature, which festers in disharmony and conflict, and very often we feel right in our judgments of disharmony, right in our judgments of conflict, but mother's constantly working in the realm of all this to change it. So a personal sharing, recently I was with somebody who was he was just being himself, But I was constantly getting triggered. Oh, he should do it this way, not that way, not this way, not that way. And my mind was going on and on and on like that. And it was so, and see, the moment you feel this kind of unrest in you, at least I know that it's not about the person, it's about myself. And instead of dealing with the person, it's a reminder to deal with yourself. So I was praying to the mother to help me, and then one day I was just walking, and it was a sheer act of grace. Suddenly I saw the person in a different light. I can't explain exactly how, and I feel this is the working of Mahalakshmi, the goddess of harmony, who's bringing harmony into us where there is a lack of harmony. I suddenly saw this person as a child just playing in the field. I mean, it was a very concrete visual, and I just laughed. I actually laughed on my walk, and then that whole he should do this, he should do that, he should be like this just completely went away from my mind, and then everything fell into balance. So if I had stuck to my old structure of I'm thinking he's wrong and he is wrong and he is like that and I should correct him and I should do this and I should do that, I would not have been open to this grace. It was like a moment, it just came and that whole thing just vanished from my being. And then there was harmony between us. And then I saw it was not about the person, it was my old structures and rigidities about how a person should be that had come up. And I'm grateful to the person for bringing it up, and then grace released it. Yeah?
The action level, but we need to correct certain things, like Krishna did that.
Yeah, but we are not Krishna. If we are Krishna, we have the adhikar to correct.
The war, etc.
So that was Krishna. He did it from his all-knowing vision. For us, if I'm feeling agitated by something, I will not correct it in a state of agitation, because my correction will also be agitated. If I'm absolutely calm and out of that calmness I know that I have to speak these words, I will speak them. Otherwise, I will first quell my agitation. So now this was from the book The Mother, and then these are this passage is from Letters on the Mother by Sri Aurobindo. So somebody asked Sri Aurobindo, who is the mother? Do you not refer to the mother, our mother, in your book The Mother? So all this is written. So he says an emphatic yes. Is she not the individual divine mother who has embodied the power of these two vaster ways of her existence, transcendent and universal? And Sri Aurobindo says an emphatic yes. Has she not descended here amongst us into the darkness and falsehood and error and death in her deep and great love for us? Yes. Somebody asks Sri Aurobindo, am I right in thinking that the mother as an individual embodies all the divine powers and brings down the grace more and more to the physical plane? So he's asking, am I right in thinking that in her individual embodiment she's bringing grace more and more into the physical plane? And again an emphatic yes. And that her embodiment is a chance for the entire physical to change and to be transformed. And Sri Aurobindo says it is a chance for the entire earth, for the earth consciousness to receive the supramental into it, the higher consciousness into it, and undergo the first transformation necessary for that to be possible. Afterwards, there will be a further transformation by the supramental, but the whole earth consciousness will not be supramentalized. There will be first a new race representing the supermind as man represents the mind. it is not so. The more we open to the question, the mother's light and force, the more her power is established in the universal. It is the transforming power that is established in the universal. Power is always there. So Sri Aurobindo in another letter on the mother writes that in her cosmic aspect, mother's grace works within the matrix of the law of things. But in her embodied aspect, it's an occasion of receiving constant grace. See, the mother exists as the Adi Shakti anyway. Even before we know she took 900 years to create this body. But even before she came to the earth in this body, she was always there. So it's not for no reason that the Adi Shakti labored for 900 years to create a body and come down. So Sri Aurobindo is saying when we pray to the Adi Shakti in general, of course we are opening to the mother's force, but it's a cosmic force. It works within the matrix of cause, effect, etc. But when we call on this embodied form of the mother, it's an occasion of constant grace, because that's what she's come down to do, to open the floodgates of grace to humanity. Mansi, you're taking the, okay. I know that all here is unreal. The mother alone is real. It is the higher reality that the mother brings into the world. Without it, all else is ignorant and false. That's what Sri Aurobindo says. Then there's a question, is the attitude that I am Brahman, Brahman, the one essence that makes everything, not necessary in the integral yoga? So he's asking that the Vedantic concept of everything is Brahman, is that not necessary in integral yoga? And Sri Aurobindo says, it is not enough to transform the whole nature. Otherwise, there would be no need of the embodiment. There would be no need for Mother and Sri Aurobindo to come down in their body. It could be done by simply thinking of oneself as Brahman. There would be no need of the Mother's presence or the Mother's force. So in integral yoga, it's not enough to just contemplate all is Brahman and I am Brahman. So now Savitri, page 600. A truth occult has made this mighty world. Occult is hidden. A hidden truth has made this mighty world. The ultimate dimension is manifesting as this phenomenal dimension all the time. The Eternal's wisdom and self-knowledge act in ignorant mind and in the body's steps. So, look at the paradox. The Eternal's wisdom act in ignorant mind. So, just to think that even our ignorant thoughts are a manifestation of an all-knowing wisdom. So, the Eternal's wisdom and self-knowledge act in ignorant mind and in the body's steps. The inconscient is the superconscious sleep. So once when Mother was meditating, she went deep down into the subconscious and she saw a being of diamond white light sleeping there. So the superconscious is sleeping in the subconscious, and therefore darkness doesn't exist, right? All darkness is pregnant with light we can't see, because the superconscious is there in the inconscient also. An unintelligible intelligence. Unintelligible is something my mind can't conceive. An unintelligible intelligence invents creation's paradox profound. What a beautiful line. An intelligence which I can't fathom, an unintelligible intelligence invents creation's paradox, its opposite profound. So This ultimate dimension, which is becoming the phenomenal dimension, is the eternal mystery. My mind will never understand it. And if I understand that my mind will never understand, I come to peace. Why? Because all my overthinking and anxiety is a bit to understand life, right? It's a bit to understand, why is he like this? Why did this happen? Why was I treated like this? But if I really, really grasp that all this is a manifestation of the eternal mystery, which my mind can never understand, so then I stop trying to understand, I come to peace. As I said last time, Vedanta with knowing anta, coming to the end of the knowing with your thoughts, that's when the real knowledge flowers, when you stop trying to understand with your mind. So, an unintelligible intelligence creates creation's paradox profound. Spiritual thought is crammed in matter's form. So, in all matter, there is spiritual thought crammed. Somewhere else, there's a line. Matter is a density of the spirit. So, normally we draw such a thick dividing line between matter and spirit. But Sri Aurobindo is saying spiritual thought is crammed in matter's forms. Unseen, it throws out a dumb energy. That spiritual thought throws out a dumb energy and works a miracle by a machine. This human body is actually a machine. Vedas, they call it the yantra. But this spirit, this ghost in the machine, creates a miracle by the machine. All here is a mystery of contraries. Darkness, a magic of self-hidden light. Light hides itself and appears to be dark, but actually there is no darkness. Suffering, some secret rapture's tragic mask. So even those who are really suffering, deep down they are Anandmayi, right? The chant we chanted. So suffering, some secret rapture's tragic mask. This is a beautiful line. Whenever we get overwhelmed seeing other people suffer, it's beautiful to remind yourself that this suffering is some secret rapture's tragic mask. And Sri Aurobindo and Sri Arvind Upanishad actually writes that if everything that appears to be Niranand or lack of joy wasn't actually joy, it would perish in the agonies of the Niranand. The very fact that it doesn't perish is proof that behind the Niranand it's supported by a substrate which is all Anand. So suffering, some tragic rapture, some secret rapture's tragic mask, and death an instrument of perpetual life. Page 700. Night is not our beginning nor our end. Night always represents darkness, ignorance. It's not our beginning nor our end. She is the dark mother in whose womb we have hid, safe from too swift awaking to world pain. We come to her from a supernal light. By light we live, and to the light we go. So the darkness that sometimes seizes us, darkness of inadequacy, lack of love, whatever, it's just a mask. It's not our real parent. Sometimes the darkness creates such a hypnosis that we feel we belong only to darkness. We don't only belong to light. But Sri Aurobindo recurrently reminds us that our real parent is light. We don't belong to darkness. By light we live, and to the light we go. A golden fire came in and burned night's heart. Mother is like that golden fire that comes in and burns night's heart. Night's heart is the heart of darkness, which sometimes all of us harbor. So mother is the golden fire that comes in and burned night's heart. Her dusky mindlessness began to dream. Her is night's, dusky is dark. So night's ignorance's dusky mindlessness began to dream. It began to become more conscious. The inconscient conscious grew. Night felt and thought, assailed in the sovereign emptiness of its reign. The intolerant darkness paled and drew apart, till only a few black remnants stained the ray. So this is like a play between light and darkness. And he's making it very, very pictorial for us. The intolerant darkness, the darkness was intolerant of light. It gets irritated with light. Paled and drew apart, till only a few black remnants remain stained that ray. So a golden fire has come and attacked the heart of darkness, and the intolerant darkness has paled till only a few black remnants were left. But on a failing edge of dumb lost space, still a great dragon body sullenly loomed, adversary of the slow struggling dawn, defending its ground of tortured mystery. See, even darkness inside us has an apparent life of its own, and nothing likes to die. So whenever we offer our darkness to light, the darkness revolts and rebels, and it tries its best not to be conquered by light, because nothing likes to die, not even darkness. So adversary of the slow struggling dawn, defending its ground of tortured mystery, it trailed its coils through the dead martyred air, and curving fled down a grey slope of time. There is a morning twilight of the gods, miraculous from sleep, their forms arise, and God's long nights are justified by dawn. Such a beautiful line. Even in the sky, every night, the night may seem very long, especially when I have insomnia, I can't sleep. But finally, the ray of light will come. And this is a metaphor for our lives. We may go through spells of great darkness, when nothing's making sense, everything seems to be going against us. But Sri Aurobindo is saying, hold on, the longest night is justified by the dawn. It's paving the way for the dawn to come. And God's long nights are justified by dawn. Now these are Osho's words. There's a beautiful parable Jesus tells. One father had two sons. The younger son asked for his heritage, his inheritance. This is from the Bible. We all know the story of the prodigal son. Took it away, wasted it in the city with wine and women, became a beggar. The other son remained with the father, worked hard in the farms, accumulated much wealth. And then one day, the beggar son, the son who had gone astray, informed his father, "I'm coming back. I was a fool. I wasted your wealth. Forgive me. Now I have nowhere to go. Accept me. I am coming back." And the father said to his son, "Celebrate this occasion. Kill the fattest sheep. Make many delicious foods. Distribute sweets to the whole town. Find out the oldest wine for him. This is going to be a feast. My son who had gone astray is coming back." Some people from the village went to the farm, and they told the other son, "Look, what injustice! You have been with your father. You served him like a servant. You never went astray. You never did anything against him. But a feast was never given in your honor. It was never celebrated. And now that vagabond, that beggar who has wasted all your father's money and who has lived in sin is coming back. And look at the injustice, your father is celebrating it. Come to town, sweets are being distributed. A great feast is being arranged. Of course, the elder son felt very angry. He came back, he was very sad. And he told his father, what type of injustice is this? You never killed any sheep for me, you never gave me any gift. And now that life gives that son of yours is coming back who has wasted all the wealth that you had given him and wasted it in wrong ways, you are celebrating it. The father said, yes, because you have always been with me, there is no need. And his coming back has to be celebrated. He has gone astray. He is the sheep lost and found again. So Jesus many times in the Bible says that a shepherd values a sheep that has gone astray and come back very dearly. And somewhere Mother says a converted asura is far more potent instrument for her than a sage. Quite a thought that a converted asura for her is a far better instrument than somebody who's never gone into darkness. So, this story has not been taken in its full significance by Christians. In fact, it says what I'm saying, what Tantra means. It's a Tantra story. It means that if you always remain on the right path, you will not be celebrated by existence. You will be a simpleton. You will not be enriched by life. You will not have any salt in you. You may be serious, but no spices. You will be very simple, good, but your good, millions of notes falling into melody. You will be a straight line with no curves and no corners. Those curves and corners give a new will not to have a complex harmony, the new will to have a complex harmony in it. You will be a single note. They make life more mysterious. They give depth. You will be shallow in your saintliness. You will not have any depth in you. That's why Tantra says everything is beautiful. Even sin is beautiful because sin gives depth to your saintlyhood. Even going astray is beautiful because coming back becomes more enriched. So beautiful. Even going astray is beautiful because coming back becomes more enriched. This world is not intended for you to move into it deeply so that you forget yourself completely and then are coming back. So it's a very encouraging thought. It teaches us to be very patient with our darknesses also. That darkness is a magic of self-hidden light. And Sri Aurobindo says that, he talks about the dark persona. He says if you have a potential for a great light, when you'll be born with an opposite darkness, and you'll go through that darkness which will be the raw material for the light to come. For example, if you're a very stingy person, you have the potential to be very generous when you turn around, much more generous than a person who's not stingy in the first place. If you are born with a great arrogance, you have an equal potential to turn it into surrender and humility. So our darkness is raw material for light. We don't need to feel defeated by it. Yeah?
So it is in this sense that you said earlier that our ignorance, our unconsciousness, our stupidity, they are also manifestation of that ultimate dimension.
Yes.
Which is necessary.
Given the consciousness that we have, it is necessary.
So we don't have to fight with it.
See, there are two ways to deal with darknesses. Yoga will deal with rejecting it. Tantra will deal with completely welcoming it. We'll come to it. Hold on.
But you have a third way.
our way is tantra, no? Offering it to the mother is, I'm not fighting it. I'm taking it and I'm offering it to her. But I'm increasingly feeling that for many people, for some people, this is the solution. Offer it to her and you're done. But many people need a lot of personal effort to reach a point where that works like magic, because our offering is incomplete, because we are so held in our ego that we are saying, Mother, take it away, but some part of us doesn't really want to give it because we are comfortable in that darkness. So we need to do personal work to bring consciousness to that darkness. So the ways of tantra, yoga, all these are necessary on the way. So people ask, why does this world exist if God is against it? Then why does He throw us into the world of karma, sins, wrongs? Why does He throw us? He can simply redeem us. That is not possible, Osho says. Then you will be shallow and superficial. If God just took away all your darkness without your personal effort to sit with it, to recognize it, you will be a very shallow person, which is why sometimes if we just say, Mother, take it away, and we don't want to do the hard work of becoming conscious of it, seeing its source, Mother won't take it away till that darkness has done its work in us. So then you will be shallow, superficial. You have to be thrown to the furthest corner of the world and you have to come back. That coming back has something in it, something that is the crystallization of your being. Your greatest courage in the world is to accept all that life gives to you. And this is what I'm trying to help you towards, to accept all that life gives you and accept it in deep humbleness as a gift. And when I say this, even those things which society has conditioned you to call wrong and bad. Moving in the dark alleys of life, one's eyes become trained and start seeing the light even in the darkest night. What beauty is, you can see light while there is day. The beauty is when there is the darkest night and your eyes are so trained into the darkness and you can see there is beauty. Then you can see the day hidden there. When in the darkest night, in the lowest you can see the highest. When even in hell you can see a heaven, then you have become the artist of life. And God wants to make you the artists of life, not deniers, but great yes sayers. Accept, and by you will feel more you accept. There is no desire. The less the case is in the moment you accept, when there is no movement for anything else, you live it moment to moment in deep acceptance. You grow without there being any goal, without there being any desire to go somewhere and be something or somebody else. So what Osho is saying is, one way is of course what Sri Aurobindo, what yoga says, rejection of the darknesses that come up. But the way of Tantra is to not reject. Does that mean we let it control us? No, we don't let it control us either. But we let it be. We sit with it, we bring consciousness to it, and we see what the darkness is all about. See, all darkness is a magic of self-hidden light. And if you sit with the darkness long enough, the light hidden in it will show itself. Like they say, if you sit long enough in a dark night, you will finally see stars. Sometimes the night is very dark, but if you keep looking at the darkness, you will see stars in it. But if you keep saying this is wrong, jealousy is wrong, lust is wrong, loneliness is wrong, anger is wrong, and you keep denying it, you're fighting darkness. And as we said last time, you can't fight darkness, you can only turn on the light, right? So to deny it and to wish it away is actually to strengthen it, because whatever you resist persists. But if you're in this state of welcoming, it's come, fine, it's not me, it's come as a guest, let me sit with it, let me look at it, let me be with it till it reveals its secret light to me, then that is the way of Tantra.
Isn't it sometimes we want the light, our will, not from others?
That's why you're rejecting it. But if you sit with the darkness, you don't know how to bring in the light. You're sitting with it, you're inviting Mother to sit with you, and suddenly the darkness will reveal light. Like I gave you that example of that person who kept triggering me. That was my darkness. It was nothing to do with the person. And when I was just with it, suddenly this light came forward, where somehow I saw the person in a totally different dimension and a different way, and all that disappeared. But it didn't happen when I was trying to push away the feeling, how can I feel like this? It's wrong. None of that. Sometimes that's not a very great approach. So this is a poem. It's called The Nuptials. Nuptials means marriage, okay? In an eternal, ongoing, yet transient nuptial, you are constantly becoming me. The poet is telling the ultimate dimension, Mother, whatever you call it, that every moment you're wedding your consciousness with my consciousness and you're becoming me. So it's an eternal yet transient nuptial. In this moment, you're marrying me to become this thought. That marriage will end. It's a transient nuptial. Next moment, you're marrying me to become another emotion. So it's a way of speaking. In an eternal, ongoing, yet transient nuptial, you are constantly becoming me. So this is the marriage where you're constantly becoming me. Yet, from the heart of your mystery, you weave an occult veil, making yourself invisible. So we said that the ultimate dimension is the eternal mystery. So from the heart of that mystery, the ultimate dimension is weaving a hidden veil that makes the ultimate dimension invisible to me. The becoming is deluded into thinking it is separate from you. I'm forgetting about this marriage that is always keeping me wedded to you. The becoming is deluded into thinking it is separate from you. Then follows the divorce. So it's a poetic way of speaking. Marriage is oneness and the divorce is separation. Then follows the divorce, the holocaust of ignorance. When I fall into the ignorance of thinking I'm a separate self, that's my divorce with you, with the higher consciousness. The becoming fights itself, little knowing it is fighting you. So, in my marriage to you, one marriage is becoming this thought of, say, anger. Now, when I'm fighting this anger, I'm really fighting you, because you are becoming me as a flow of this anger. It chases the illusion of trying to draw itself the pleasant and push away the unpleasant. Anger is not pleasant, I want to push it away. Loneliness is not pleasant, I want to push it away. Till in magical moments, the bridegroom unveils his face of beauty to the bride becoming. Who is the bridegroom? Kashvi, who is the bridegroom? Who is the bridegroom? Huh? The higher light. The ultimate dimension is the bridegroom. The phenomenal dimension is the bride. So, till in magical moments, the bridegroom unveils his face of beauty to the bride becoming. The enamored bride then intones a ceaseless I do. I do is what they say when you get married, right? So then the enamored bride intones a ceaseless I do to all the unfathomable proposals the truant groom offers. So what are the proposals of the groom? Our different thoughts and emotions are the proposals of the groom. He comes to us sometimes wearing this face of anger, that face of negation. And once the bridegroom has recognized this groom behind everything, she just says, I do. I do means yes. You come like this, you come like that, you come like this. I'm saying yes to everything. The enamored bride then intones a ceaseless I do to all the unfathomable proposals the truant groom offers. She says, you may come, my love, as this mundane thought or that negating emotion. This heart is poised by grace to unconditionally welcome every arrival of yours. That is Tantra. To welcome every, see, we think our thoughts, emotions are just commonplace. But I said this even last year, the greatest mystery in the world is human thought. Can you crack how it comes about? Can you understand where which thoughts come from, how they come? It's the eternal mystery. It's a manifestation of the ultimate dimension. And if you can't understand it, sometimes just sit like Nandi bull sitting at the feet of Shiva, just waiting and listening and not rejecting anything, just letting it all come, sit, be present to it and see where it's taking you. So this piece is called Freedom. Its title, Freedom, comes from constant vigil. Vigil is alertness. This is a sentence often used by the army. In the army, they say, if you want your country to be free, be constantly vigilant, otherwise the enemies will attack. This is a sentence often used by the army. It is applicable to practicing mindful living as well. What is the sentence? Freedom comes from constant vigil. Freedom is about when we get caught up in mental, emotional states, we feel imprisoned, right? So here the enemy is our own mind, our mental, emotional states of negation, anger, doubt. When we get caught up in mental, emotional states, we feel imprisoned. Freedom is about transcending them. One is the vigil that constantly says, no, this is not me, the way of yoga, rejecting it. The tradition of neti neti of our scriptures to every mind state that knocks at the door. The other vigil, the other way, is to dissolve all doors and welcome every mind state fully, saying, yes, this too is God, this too is me. The second way is the wider way. It's the way of love, wherein I become a limitless space where being doorless, which being doorless has no door to close. Neti neti is closing this door, this door, this door. How many doors will you close? But the other way of saying, yes, jealousy has come, oh mother, you've come to me as this mind state. Anger has come, you've come to me as this. That doesn't mean I get controlled by it, but I don't reject it and I don't think of it as something that's evil and dark, because darkness doesn't exist. All darkness is a magic of self-hidden light. So I become a limitless space which, being doorless, has no door to close. In giving this space to all mind states fully, they are transcended. So there was a beautiful, beautiful song by Saint Namdev We did it in the morning class also. So Namdev was a poor saint and he was making his meal of chapatis, and a stray dog comes and snatches away his chapati. Now, a normal mind, a mind state of how terrible, now I'll have to go hungry, what I wanted was taken away from me, etc. comes. But Namdev, being Namdev, an enlightened being, sees the dog also as a form of the divine. And he runs after the dog with a katori of ghee and says, wait, wait, don't eat this roti sukha, here's the ghee. So, I'll just read out the lines, they are very, very beautiful. नामदेव ने पकाई, Namdev cooked roti, कुत्ते ने उठाई, he snatched it away. पीछे घी का कटोरा लिए जा रहा, Namdev ran after the dog with a katora of ghee. बोले रूखी मत खाओ, don't eat it dry, थोड़ा घी तो लगाओ, apply ghee on it. रूप अपना क्यों मुझसे छिपा रहे, तेरा मेरा एक नूर, we are made up of one light. फिर काहे को हुजूर, he is calling the dog also हुजूर. तूने शक्ल बनाई ये श्वान की, श्वान is a dog, why have you put on this face of a dog. मुझे ओढ़नी उड़ाई इंसान की, you have worn the face of a dog there and here you've made me wear the dupatta of a human being. हृदय हृदय में है झांकी भगवान की, किसी सूझ वाली आँख ने पहचान की. Only an eye which has woken up to wisdom can recognize this. So let's take the metaphor to a thought of anger or jealousy that comes. It's that dog which is taking me away from my peace of mind. If I'm a Namdev, I won't call that dog terrible or mean or shoo it away. I won't fight with him. I'll see this also as a manifestation of the ultimate dimension. This has come out of the heart of a mystery which I don't understand. But if it has come, it must be good. I'll sit with it. I'll be with it. I won't be controlled by it. I won't wish it away. I won't get entangled with it. I'll just sit, I'll welcome it. Tantra is the art of welcoming, saying yes to everything that comes. Every dog that comes and appears to snatch away something beautiful from us, I welcome it. That is the way of Tantra. So, if I am like that, then actually I'll see that I'll become very contented and desireless, because desires are actually a form of resistance. I don't want what I have, I want something other than what I have. But if I'm totally saying yes to everything that's manifesting as me in the moment, I'm contented, right? I can't have any desires. Okay. Now this is a piece by Satprem from Adventure of Consciousness. As we advance in yoga, we see that each time we fall ill or even meet with an external accident, it is in fact always the result of a lack of consciousness, a wrong attitude or a psychological disorder. This study is all the more interesting because the moment we set foot on the path of yoga, something in us becomes alerted and makes us every moment see and even put our finger on our errors, on the real cause of all that happens to us, as if someone were taking our search in earnest. Nothing is left in the dark. So beautiful. So what Satprem is saying is, when we walk the path of yoga, we can't think anything happens to us randomly. We live that line in Savitri. There is a meaning in every curve and line. And everything, even that goes wrong, is a gentle knock on our consciousness to wake up and correct something that's out of its place. So if we are living the way of Tantra, saying yes to everything that comes, then we start seeing why it has come and we grow from it. But if we keep rejecting it, I don't want it, take it away. And somewhere I feel those of us who very superficially just keep offering to the mother is a phenomenal practice. I can never belittle it because it's a major part of my practice also. But you have to do your own work of sitting with your darknesses and seeing the light in it. If mother just took it away, then the darkness wouldn't serve its purpose. After you have seen the hidden gift of light the darkness has, then to give it to the mother, it makes much more sense. So, but in any case, even if we don't sit with it the way the mother is, once we offer it to her, she'll find ways to make us see what the light and the darkness is. So that's also the thing, it's a process, everything is work in progress. And she knows the pace at which we can progress. She knows when we are ready to see it.
Isn't it overwhelming sometimes, like things you want, things what she offers, and you are confused, not overwhelming, isn't it?
So the question is, I want A, but mother's giving me B. And getting B instead of A is overwhelming me or confusing you. Yeah, but that's where we can make a leap of faith and say that the mother knows better. I keep saying that all of us are like children in terms of consciousness. We are as immature as children. If we see a shining bottle which looks delicious but it's poison, and we keep telling our mother, no, I want to drink that, the mother is not going to give us that poisonous bottle. So that's where life experience and wisdom tells us that everything we want is not necessarily what we need. She gives us what we need, not what we want. So, as if someone were taking our search in earnest, nothing is left in the dark. And more we discover at times with amazement a strict correlation between our inner state and outer circumstances, illness, for example, or accidents, as if life were no longer unfolding from outside inward, but from inside outward, the inside fashioning the outside down to the most commonplace circumstances actually. Nothing is commonplace anymore, and everyday life appears as a network heavy with signs waiting to be recognized. So beautiful. Everyday life appears as a network heavy with signs waiting to be recognized. We don't even trip over something without it having some occult energetic root. Think about it. Sometimes it's happened that I'm thinking a thought I shouldn't and suddenly I trip over something. Yeah, many of you are nodding your head. So everything is planned for us down to the last detail. Everything is connected. The world is a miracle. It may be a childish error to imagine that spiritual life consists in seeing visions or apparitions and contemplating supernatural phenomena. The divine is nearer to us than we think. The miracle less showy and more profound than all this stereotyped imagery. Once we have deciphered just one of these little signs that cross our path, discern just once the imperceptible link that connects things together, we are closer to the great miracle than if we had touched heavenly manna. So, once Thich Nhat Hanh, somebody came to him and told him that, we have a master who can levitate in the air and performs miracles like that. So, in your spiritual practice, have you come to it? So Thich Nhat Hanh says, I can perform a greater miracle than that. I can stand solid on earth and walk with mindfulness. So to fly into the sky isn't the miracle. The real miracle is to walk on earth grounded and rooted in awareness. So once we have deciphered just one of these little signs that cross our path, discern just once the imperceptible link that connects things together, we are closer to the great miracle than if we had touched heavenly manna. For the miracle may be that the divine is too natural, as we say the ordinary miracle. God is the ordinary miracle constantly unfolding in our midst. The divine is too natural, but we are heedless. Thus the seeker becomes aware of this reversal of the current of life from inside outward. Normally we think life is happening us from the outside and we have to deal with it the best we can. But the seeker realizes it's the other way round. The root of our outer life is our inner life. He breaks, since the psychic masters has naturally enough, since the psychic has come out of its imprisonment, we start living inside out when the psychic comes out of its imprisonment. He breaks the seal on these everyday signs and sees. This is the seeker. He sees that his inner attitude has the power to model outer circumstances either way, for good or bad. When we are in a state of harmony and our actions conform to the deeper truth of our being, nothing seems able to resist. Even impossibilities dissolve, as though another law was superimposed on the natural one. In reality, it is the true natural that emerges from the mental and vital complications. And we begin to taste a royal freedom, a freedom over circumstances when we function from inside out, anchored in our deepest and highest. Then our outer life starts becoming beautiful. Mother says that now don't take anything she says as a sweeping statement, because nothing is a sweeping statement. But she did once say that if you want a parameter for your spiritual growth, your outer life is often a parameter for your spiritual growth. The more you grow inside, the more harmonious and beautiful your life becomes. But maybe there'll be a period when you really start growing inside, a lot of things get shaken up inside, and correspondingly there's a period of a lot of upheavals on the outside. But once that inner shaking settles, then the outer shaking also settles and life becomes more and more harmonious and beautiful. When we are in a state of harmony and our actions conform to the deeper truth of our being, nothing seems able to resist. Even impossibilities dissolve, as though another law was superimposed on the natural one. And we begin to taste a royal freedom. So I met one of my ex-students, a boy I taught many years ago. Now he is doing remarkable things abroad. So he told me, in my family everyone's miserable or unhappy about something or the other. My grandfather has this, my mother has this, my sister has this, my father has this. But he's saying, thanks to the seeds of faith which I received in my yoga classes in school, I think life is fabulous. And he's saying, sometimes when I'm with my family, I wish I could rub off onto them, because they keep telling me life is bad and this is this and this is that. And I don't say it aloud all the time, but in my heart I keep saying, but life is marvelous, life is fabulous. But it's the same family, but it's the faith you live with. If you live with the faith that if I've been taken to it, I'll be taken through it, and everything is actually an unfolding of this beautiful eternal mystery, you see that life is that. But if you, or for example, today one yoga student told me, I was giving her a ride and she told me stress, stress, stress. And I know there's nothing really wrong in her life. So I told her, why stress? So she almost very proudly told me, I'm the first class warrior in the world. Like she was saying, I've made worrying an art. So, I mean, if you live like that, it's not just that you're being unhappy, but you're constantly going to also attract things to your life which will give you more cause to worry. It's never a sensible thing to live like that. So, when our inner state is bad, we emit a certain type of vibration that automatically calls up and contacts all other vibrations of the same type at every level of our being, causing a general muddle. External circumstances are disturbed and everything goes awry. So, all of us are like tuning forks. Whatever frequency we are vibrating to, all the frequencies of similar, all the tuning forks of similar frequency will come to us and vibrate with us. So if we want our outer life to have a higher vibration, it cannot be till we change our own frequencies. Not only does this bad inner state create a muddle, it also weakens the circumconscious protective envelope, what we were working with in the morning class. The circumconscious protective envelope, that gets weak, which means that instead of being guarded by a certain vibratory intensity, we are open, vulnerable. There is nothing like a vibration of disorder to make holes in our protective envelope, or rather to disintegrate it, and anything can enter. So this is the root of all illness. You must have often seen that you're disturbed and stressed about something and then you fall sick. So we may think it's the virus that made you sick, but viruses are there everywhere. You can't avoid them. But when can the energy of the virus make you sick? When your aura, your protective field is weak. We should also be careful to note that a bad inner state is contagious. A certain kind of company always attracts accidents or troubles. After we have had the same experience 10 times, 100 times, from a common cold to a mere fall to a serious accident, depending on our inner state, we will have learned once and for all that neither our bodies nor so-called chance has anything to do with all this. And likewise, the remedy lies in no external drug, but in restoring the true attitude, the inner order, in a word, in consciousness. If the seeker is conscious, he can walk through any epidemic, drink all the dirt of the Ganges as he pleases. Nothing can touch him. For what could touch the awakened master? We have isolated bacteria and viruses, but we have not understood that they are only agents that the disease is not the virus but the force that uses the virus. How beautiful. Mother saying the disease is not the virus but the force that uses the virus. Only if something in us vibrates at the energy of that force that uses the virus, then the virus gets activated in us. If we are clear, there is nothing all the viruses in the world can do, because our inner force is stronger than that force. Or to put it differently, because our being vibrates with an intensity too high for the lower vibration, only like can enter like. If I have no likeness or affinity to the force that is using the virus, it cannot enter me. So if you want to be healthy, the best preventive is to have a peaceful, healthy consciousness that does not just keep reacting to everything. Reactive and oversensitivity invites forces of disharmony and disorder into us. So let's do what we did in the morning class. Since we ended with this bit about the aura shielding, let's work with aura shielding. So I'll just, we've done it in classes before, but I'll just remind you. So we feel the mother's presence in our heart. First just listen, then we'll do it. So since we've used the 4 words, in the morning class we used all the 4 words, but here we'll choose one. Anandmayi, Chaitanyamayi, Satyamayi, Parame. So if I'm feeling a lack of love, Anandmayi is the mother of love or the mother of joy. So her presence inside us is self-existent love. Then I may want to put mother's love or Ananda in my aura. Or if I'm struggling with unhappiness or a particular darkness, and I want Chaitanya or consciousness to reveal to me the light in the darkness, then my word could be Chaitanya or Satya. Or if I'm feeling afraid and insecure, what will happen? This will go wrong, that will go wrong. The word could be Parame. Parame means supreme, the most powerful force in the world. So that gives me strength. So I could secrete an aura around me consisting of mother's Ananda, love or joy, or her Chaitanya, which is consciousness. Or Chaitanya and Satya both are shades of one another. Or Parame gives me mother's strength. So if I'm feeling insecure about something and I put mother's strength around me, I'm reminding myself that I'm putting the most powerful force in the world as my protective shield. And mother has said, with my name in your heart, you can go into the mouth of death and nothing will ever be able to touch you. Okay, so in aura shielding, I'll just show you. You move on the inhalation, because inhalation is the creative part of your breath. So inhale, right hand below the left, exhale, wait. Inhale, rise up, exhale, wait. Inhale, your palms are facing your body and you're actually making a shield going deep into the earth, coming up right hand over the left. And we want a 3-dimensional aura shield. So you do it with a left twist and with a right twist. Now there are words. Words are very important. As you inhale and rise up, I invite the mother's light to pile up over my head and build a cocoon of whatever you want. When you have time, do all 4 words, but just now choose whether you want a cocoon of love, Ananda, or Chaitanya, consciousness, truth, Satya, or Parame, which is strength or power. So just choose and then I'll take you through it. So hands in a Namaste, and then just separate your palms and make a ball of energy between your palms, saying your word. Suppose my word is Parame, strength. You substitute it with whatever you want, Ananda, Chaitanya, Satya, and invite that aspect of the Mother to be felt between your palms. And then flatten your palms into a gentle Namaste. Inhale, take the hands up to the top of your head, right hand below the left, saying, I invite the Mother's light. Exhale, wait. Inhale to pile up over my head. Exhale, wait. Inhale, palms facing you, feeling the connect between your palms and the body, and build a cocoon of her strength, or whatever your word is, all around me. Go deep into the earth and right hand above the left. Hands in a Namaste, do it with a left twist. Inhale, I invite the Mother's light to pile up over my head and build a cocoon of her strength, or whatever it is, all around me. Go deep into the earth and right hand above the left. Now with a right twist. I invite the Mother's light to pile up over my head and build a cocoon of her protective power all around me. Do one more cycle on your own. Move slowly, feeling the energy play between your palms and the body. Front, then left twist and right twist. And then sit in that cocoon and repeat that word from the mantra, Anandamayi or Chaitanyamayi or Satyamayi or Parame, in the heart space with Mother's image there. And then hands in a Namaste. Instead of ending with 3 Oms, let's end with her mantra. Anandamayi Ah.